What's up guys, I just finished mixing this song. This is Sydney Valette new album coming out soon, and I just wanted to show you a couple of things that I did here. The first one is how to make a big, massive, extended but focused kick drum. We have only one kick drum track and we go from this to this. All right, let's quickly see what did I do. Like I said, only one kick drum. We can hear it in solo without processing first. With the processing. All right, massive difference, okay? So we start with console 1 right here, and here I'm driving the input to use the saturation, the type B tape, and then drive the SSL saturation because I'm using the SSL 4K for everything, EQ, compression, and drive. I have a 2 dB cut at 500 to take away a little bit of boxiness, and you can see I have a low cut of 14 because I want this kick drum to be very extended, and half a dB at 40 Hertz in shelf mode. And I'm using a little bit of compression, not really much, because I'm compressing the whole drum kit on this song with a Wolf IGS. So in here I'm using just a little bit slow attack to ratio. Without it. All right. We notice a lot more punch and a lot more grit. That is the SSL drive, the SSL compressor, and the tape B adds a little bit of bottom end. But what really makes the sound of this kick is the SSL EQ. We're talking hardware. You can see it here, the 611. I'm in brown mode, bell, and I'm boosting a hell of a lot down there. A little bit of clickiness just to rebalance power on the low end, and this is how it sounds with and without. Let's start without. As you can hear, not only adds this very focused low end, which I love the SSL for this one, but it also feels like it makes it longer. I really, really love the sound of the SSL EQs on kick and snare. After that, I wanted this exaggerated, almost cartoonish low end. This is because we have a very powerful bass here. I can play you for a second. Okay, so for this song, I wanted the kick drum to be bigger than the bass. And even though I sidechained the bass, I needed this super extended low end on the kick. When your kick is already this big and you boosted this much low end, you can go with more EQ, right? You're gonna eat up a lot of headroom, and it's simply not gonna work. So what I usually do, I go with psychoacoustic processor, which could be max bass, which could be other things like Vitamin. In this case, my favorite for low end is Bass Mint. You can see my settings super simple. Everything is a 0 other than the cutoff frequency, which is the corner frequency, and the strength, just 8% in saturate mode, and this is the difference. So why this works really well? Well, first of all, because we are saturating, we are not adding nominal level like we would do with an EQ, right? And the cutoff frequency allows me to saturate basically the fundamental, the voicing of the low end that I want for this kick without going into the sub range like 30, 40, 20 Hertz and dirty that one up. And then after this, I use Crafter just because I wanted two things. One, I wanted to control a little bit the nominal level. I wanted to gain a little bit of headroom, and at the same time I wanted a little more color and grit. And this is why I use Crafter, which is a multi-band saturator. But as you can see, I'm in between. My settings are in between single band and multi-band, because the single band is actually what adds the character. Single band clippers have a specific color and a specific behavior, especially with deep low end, which I happen to like, but many times they fold too much. Crafter is perfect because if you halfway it to multi, the multi-band part handles the low end a little better. So here you will see that I'm gaining headroom and I'm adding this grit and color and aggressiveness that it's funny because you don't perceive it in the mix. The kick drum in the mix feels very clean and round, but that's because there's masking because of the bass that we heard before, right? This makes the kick drum feels louder in the mix, but it's actually nominally lower. So this is without and with. This boom, the sound that grunts and then goes away, right? So that is exactly the sound that I was looking for. After this, it's the good old lo-fi. I can't get away from this plugin. This is usually on all my kicks and all my snares, and it's literally, these are the settings. There's always the distortion only. That's the only knob that I touch, and it can go from 0.1 to maybe 0.8, and that's it. It just simply makes it knock harder. And because we are added a bunch of low end, and we also have a hardware insert, so I want to make sure, and I'm just using infrasonic Tokyo Dome Lab to make sure that we don't go lower than we need. Let's put it this way. It's just a safe net. This is, again, the difference without the processing. And with it. In the mix without the processing. Okay, we can start adding one thing at a time in the mix so you can hear what each processing does in the mix. You hear what massive difference the lo-fi makes? It's just a 0 to distortion in the mix. When you hear it in solo, you don't notice it, but that's why the lo-fi is on every drum, on every mix. This is it for the video. I hope you guys liked it. This song with the rest of the album is going to be out soon. If you want to book mix and mastering with me, go to the website mixbusstv.com. In there, you can also find all the mix and mastering courses. And if you want to access the exclusive library of in-depth mix and mastering videos here on YouTube, click the join button, become a MixBuzTV member. And if you want to support the channel, please consider using the super thanks or grab some merch. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you haven't already. Stay safe. See you next time.